Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 56 of Highwind Herald and our grand return to streaming. I am Wolfkins, and I've got Soloist here with me, man. How are you today?
Good, and we're also on the YouTube space now. Welcome, YouTubers and content viewers.
Ooh.
Subscribe.
Yeah, it only took us 56 episodes to
Yeah.
actually decide to put one of these up.
That's fine.
That's okay.
That's fine.
That's okay. Yeah, so we are now streaming every week. This week we are on Twitch because we had a little bit of a hiccup with our YouTube, but
Who
we should be
knew
on YouTube
that
next
you had
week.
to go through a verification process. I was setting it up, and it was like, verify it to... Well, obviously, verified. The account's verified. But it's like, go through and allow it to stream. I was like, okay, that's weird. And it was like, 24-hour verification process. What? Oh, whatever. So here we are.
Yeah, that's weird.
Here we are.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there because as we kick off every show, we've got our trivia for the week, and it's my week. So this is one of your favorite types of trivia.
Obscure.
It's a two-parter.
Oh my god, that's not fair, man.
The first part's too easy, I feel like. Okay.
All right.
All right. Are you ready?
Hit me. Ready as I'll ever be.
Okay. Are you sure?
I mean, I'm gonna have to be.
Okay. Which installment in the series has the smallest inventory? As in, you can carry the fewest amount of items at any given time.
I have no clue.
Take a guess.
What website are you using for your trivia
I'm not
questions?
telling you.
Is it 4?
It is not.
Is it
Come
one
on.
of...
What would make sense to have a smaller inventory?
I don't know. One of the MMOs, maybe? 11? 14?
No. You give up.
Yeah, I have no clue.
It is the NES version of Final Fantasy II. I mean, it makes sense. One of the earlier games would not have as many inventory slots for you. Second question is, how many items could you hold?
20.
No, a little bit more than that.
30.
Oh, you're close. It was 32 individual items.
Oh my
And
gosh.
get this, I did not. First of all, that is not the case in the Pixel remaster. Thank God. But apparently, back then in the day, your key items were also stored in your inventory, and there's
Oh.
18 of them.
Oh, gross. Oh.
So
That's such a bad oversight. How do you do that?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because it's Final Fantasy II, meaning the original Final Fantasy had a larger inventory space. I don't know what happened there.
Maybe they had to cut resources. I don't know. That is
I
bizarre.
don't know.
That is super bizarre. That makes zero
Right?
sense.
Agreed. But it was a fun trivia question, and it kind of ties with what I'm currently doing because I'm playing Final Fantasy II right now. So
Absolutely.
but-
Are you liking it? Have you hit a wall where it's getting a little more...
No, because so here's the thing. Yes, I'm liking it. I have gotten to the point in where the dungeons where I'm starting to notice the encounter rate. It wasn't too noticeable in the beginning, but I'm going through a dungeon now and I'm like, because the dungeon's bigger, and I'm like, I just want to get to those stairs.
It is, and especially the fake out doors where they plop you in the middle,
Okay.
and the encounter rate is like a battle per step.
Okay, that's not how it is for me, though. Okay, I read that too. So I
Yeah.
kept finding these fake doors. At most, I hit one encounter going out of those rooms.
I think it gets worse. They might have nerfed it in that version too, but
Okay.
it gets worse. I
So
don't know if it
I've
gets worse
read-
or if they just become more common.
Okay, I've read that the encounter rate is super high in those rooms. Sometimes I leave those rooms with no encounter.
Mhm.
So I was like, what's going on
Those
there?
rooms are so frustrating, though.
That is my least favorite part, I think, of this whole game.
They
And-
make no sense.
Well, all I do now, honestly, I just use a map. Because when I get in a dungeon, I
Yeah.
just pop up a map to see, like, and I just kind of glance at what
You're
the trap
probably
doors are.
shaving off 5 hours of the game doing that too.
Probably.
I swear.
But I was like, that's not really worth it. So I'm still going through getting all the treasures. I'm just skipping doors I know aren't.
That is a very
All right,
interesting
fine.
game. Great music though.
It is.
Have you encountered the awful boss music yet?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it
I'm
so
about
bad?
6-7 hours in.
Isn't
It
It's so
It's not
It's
the
so
best.
off-putting. It's not a boss song.
It's not
like
very epic.
it's not.
No.
You get in there and it's like
You know, okay.
it's like
When you first described it, I wasn't sure how to take it, but it does kind of
it
sound like a
does.
shop.
It does.
sounds
It's
like
so
like a.
that there's other boss songs that are good, but that one
Oh, man.
very underwhelming.
Now I will say,
Probably not good for a podcast where we're supposed to take a sip of something at the same time.
oh, well, I normally can't see you. So.
Oh, truth. I just noticed. I was like, oh, there's dead air.
See, in the podcast, I just edit that out.
That's fine.
So those of you watching live, sorry.
Yeah,
but
no. You get
I'm going to say most of my thoughts, because when I finish it, I think we can do a Final Fantasy II review. What I will say is there are certain aspects of the leveling system that I really don't mind. The HP seems to work okay. The attack seems to work okay. The only thing that's really bugging me is that each individual spell has a level.
Yeah.
That annoys me. The rest of it's not like the actual
I mean,
stats.
you have to use magic a lot. And I went through the approach of having Maria be like a sage and using all the magic. And that's impossible unless you want to like triple your playtime. That's because you're going to have to grind it like crazy. So I just was like, okay, one element, you're going to do fire magic and you're going to level cure. That's it.
So I've got her with Thunder and Cure, and I'm working on Protect. And then I've got Furion with Fire and Guy with...
Apparently, Blink breaks the game. You may want to think about that, too.
Okay.
Apparently, it breaks
I think I just
the game.
got a Blink Tome.
I think it breaks the game. I don't remember. I've blocked out everything from that playthrough.
You know what really breaks the game, though, a little bit early on, is as soon as you get to where you can get a Chocobo, you can go straight to Mysidia and buy some really great weapons.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did that.
that is kind of a cool Breath of the Wild-like aspect of the game.
Yeah,
where the whole
I'm
game is
one-shotting
open.
literally everything.
Yeah, it's not a hard game. I just got so bored. So bored halfway
no,
through.
I'm not bored, and I don't care to like max the stats as long as I can beat the game. I really don't mind.
Oh, it'll be easy to beat. You don't even have to do that to beat it. Oh well.
That's good news. So, I mean that normally what we do is our first is trivia, then the second's what you've been doing this week, which that's what I've been doing this week. I do have a second thing though, because I am this close, so close to beating Endwalker. I'm in the last zone. I just had a really epic cutscene. I'm so close, and I just want to take the rest of the week off and beat this game. Like, I don't know exactly how much longer I have, but I'm getting there.
Weekend's almost here. Weekend's
good.
almost here. I'm still on my Final Fantasy hiatus, knowing that it's going to be the only thing I do next month. So I'm trying my best to avoid it. I love Final Fantasy listeners dearly to my heart. Like, makes me more emotional than any game series. But I'm not touching it because I'm going to be playing it every day in February. I'm going to be playing Final Fantasy VIII. So hopefully only for half the month. I really hope I don't take the whole month to beat it.
I mean, it's about a 40-hour game.
I should be fine, especially on weekends where I can stream like all day. Yeah. Should be okay.
But hint, you're playing the remaster version?
Mm-hmm.
What I would do is just, if you want to make it as easy as possible, whenever you encounter a new magic, just put on like super speed, grind it out real quick.
I'm not above
max
that.
It out,
I'm not above super speed. That might save this entire game, in my opinion.
Well, the super speed just cuts down on the grind. It's not really doesn't
that
do
alone.
anything else.
Like a little off topic, but I've started streaming Pokemon Nuzlocke, which, if you don't know what they are, they're challenge runs where Pokemon die, they're permanently dead, and you only catch one per route. And people have established a rule that you can hack in rare candies because there's a level cap for each gym. You're not allowed to go over the highest level for each gym.
Okay.
But since you stream it, no one wants to sit there and watch you level up 6 Pokemon to that level cap every gym. So everyone's allowed a rule where you can hack in rare candies and just feed the rare candies every time you get to a gym to get to the level cap. And it actually also hurts you because you don't get the same stat boost. You lose out on EVs when you do that. That's how I'm viewing the speed up in Final Fantasy VIII. Is it a lot easier than it used to be? Yes. Do I care? Not at all, because I hate grinding in Pokemon and I hate drawing. Maybe
it doesn't make it easier. It just makes it faster.
Exactly.
It doesn't affect the difficulty at all.
Exactly. So maybe I'm definitely doing that. It's nowhere near.
It definitely doesn't affect the difficulty. It just makes what I was doing back in the day faster. But so yeah, you can put on auto battle or whatever and speed it up and just let them grind till they cap it out, and then go about your day.
Yeah.
And that way, you only have to do it the one time. You shouldn't have to
I'm
draw that anymore.
I'm so excited for that part. Well, yeah, I mean, I've been looking up a little bit. The little Final Fantasy stuff I have been doing has been 8 related, trying to study the junction system, looked up a few reviews, been listening to music. I'm trying to get myself in the atmosphere of wanting to play it because I'm not.
Dude.
I was not excited at first. I won't lie,
If
but
you have questions, all you have to do is give me a call.
I probably will
I
have
love
some.
8. I've played 8 a bunch of times.
I looked up a little bit of the story synopsis, and I understand one of the most criticized points of this game is how it makes no sense. There are a few questions.
I disagree.
Well, that's just, I don't have no idea. But there are a few things that are weird and confusing to me, but after I play it, that might make sense. I will ask questions, though.
Yeah,
Plenty of them.
Ask if you. So I don't think it doesn't make any sense. I've heard people complain that it gets too, quote, out there in the back half. And I'm like, okay. I mean, we went to the moon in 4 and met little weird bunny people. I don't know how much more out there we can get. I feel like Final Fantasy always gets a little out there in the back half.
You cannot criticize Final Fantasy for being weird.
So yeah, I've heard that, and I'm like, okay.
That's not fair.
Sure.
Final Fantasy that's what makes Final Fantasy so great. It's weird.
I mean, even Endwalker gets a little out there, and you know what I mean? Like, it's a Final Fantasy game. You get to the end, and you're like, it's a little out there.
The first people you meet are elephant people. Like, yeah, it's a little out
Right.
there. It's a little out there.
Right.
I don't know, but I've not played any Final Fantasy. I'm not even playing 14 right now because 14 will get me burnt out on the tropes. I plan on streaming a little bit of 14 during the month as well, so. I've been playing other MMOs. I started Elder Scrolls Online. It's a fantastic game, actually. And I've not been doing anything Final Fantasy. But next month I will not. It'll be nothing but Final Fantasy. And I'm super excited because Final February is technically where my content first began all those years ago.
Aww.
All that year ago. So it'll be kind of like a year anniversary for me too. So that's
Nice.
gonna be really cool. And my birthday
I will
stream.
say this. Well, yeah, I knew that already though. Well, I will say this. I think most of the queue issues for Final Fantasy 14, I think, are gone. So
Most of the what? Yeah.
I mean, so the weekend before last, I logged in at 8 o'clock and had a 1,500 person queue. I was like, crap. A week later, I was like, okay, I logged in at 8 o'clock because I wanted to play by 11, and there were 200 people. And I'm like, what happened? I don't know. I have no idea.
200 people is not too bad to wait in, though.
No. Well, that was the thing. I logged in 2 hours before I wanted to play, though. So
yeah,
because I was used to the queue. And last night I just sat down and logged in when I wanted to play. So you shouldn't have any trouble.
Well,
I
that's
do
good.
know, and this might be our first piece of news because I don't remember if we talked about this last week, but they are finally opening those extra servers at the end of the month. So I think they're opening 5 new servers. So that should help. You should see a bunch of people from those regions moving over. So that will just help rebalance loads anyway, which
Good.
is nice. And I also wonder if we've had people, because we're on a high pop server, I wonder if we've had a couple people world transfer, if you can do that right now.
I don't know. I mean, that's good. I'm glad they got that fixed, though. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's much better. And not only are they going to be opening those servers, but the same day they are selling the game again, because the game still can't be purchased since they took it down. Yeah,
wow.
So the game is going back on sale, I think the 25th. I should know that, but I don't have it in front of me. But yeah, so the game is going back on sale very soon. So I think things have kind of evened out a little bit.
Hey,
thankfully.
That's good. That's good. I'm happy for the game.
Oh, man, it's great.
I will be streaming a lot of Final Fantasy VIII and that next month. Look forward to it. Maybe I'll
run some dungeons with you or something if you ever get in.
I'll probably be able to get in pretty easy. Hopefully.
I just meant if you do it.
oh yeah, if I play. There's something about 14. I'll get addicted to it for a week and not play it for a few months. And it's so weird.
I just don't understand that.
I know it is super bizarre. Super bizarre. We got a chatter. What's up, Star Blossom? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
But yeah, it's super. I don't know. I'll get back into it.
You should, because I'm not. Okay, I'm not just hopping on like some kind of hype train. Endwalker, I think, is the best expansion. It's been great.
That's
It's been really good.
that's a lot to live up to.
Agreed. But it's been good, and it's got a lot of nice callbacks. It is, I think, what you wanted Kingdom Hearts 3 to be, because it brings back just a little bit of every expansion.
Nah, you'll make me play it all night tonight. Don't say that. That's the kind of stuff I live for, man.
I know.
love long-awaited payoffs. Ah,
Oh my god.
love
It's got
that.
ARR payoffs, man.
if I
Like,
remember
it's-
it. I'm gonna
yeah.
have to watch just a few story summaries before I play it again next, maybe.
So what I've been doing is I'll hit something, I'm like, I remember that character vaguely, and then I'll just go to the Wikipedia page.
I
and
did
I'm
get
like,
spoiled
oh, yeah.
on the return of a Shadowbringers character pretty big on Twitter, and that's what made me come on last week and rant about being spoiled.
I want to ask who, but I'm scared that I'm not there yet, or I
I don't know, but it made me very mad because that would have been a very cool thing to see. But
The return of a Shadowbringers character?
yeah,
Okay.
we'll see.
I want to
when
know.
We'll see when
Once
I get there.
beat it.
Once I beat it, when we can do our Endwalker review.
No. But once I beat it, I want you to tell me who it was you got spoiled on. I mean.
Oh, okay. Hopefully I
Just
got
in
it wrong.
Just in case I'm like right there or something, if there's another character or something like that.
Absolutely.
So-
All right.
okay.
Well, speaking of paying off like Kingdom Hearts 3,
Yes.
let's go into today's topic.
Well, let's not go into today's topic just
Oh,
yet because
okay.
we have a segment.
Oh,
Okay.
Bike Watch.
We got a segment, Bike Watch.
Yeah.
A very special
The
Bike
death
Watch.
of Bike Watch is done. Bike Watch is over. Canceled.
For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, I was promised early December that for
Early
Christmas-
December, my butt. You got
Mid-December.
promised like the week
Mid-December.
before Christmas.
It was mid-December, okay? So anyway, my Christmas present was going to be that nice Fenrir mount. You know what I'm talking about? The motorcycle,
The bike.
Cloud's motorcycle, the bike, hence Bike Watch. So, Soloist shows up to Christmas with a present for literally everybody except my bike. And he says, oh, it's digital, so I'll
On
just
its way.
send it when I get home.
Got stuck in the mail.
Okay.
Santa forgot
it's-
it.
So it never came. So we've been doing Bike Watch, as I every week remind him he's late on my Christmas present. But today, January 18th, at the time of this recording, at 9 p.m., right before we went live, I redeemed the code for my bike.
That's right.
So
It was
Bike
actually
Watch-
far easy. It's far easier. I thought I needed your email. I didn't.
No,
it
I
just
know.
gave me a
That's-
code. It was super
that's
easy.
why I was like, what is the big deal? Just
It
go,
was super-
just hit the button.
It
It's
was
so
super
easy.
easy. Chad is very happy for you that you got
Oh,
your bike.
thank you. But you kept saying, I haven't had time. I'm like, oh my God, you could have done this on your phone in 5 minutes. I don't know
Time-
what the big deal.
Time is another word for money, friend. Time is
long?
money, friend.
How long did it actually take you? I want to know.
Well, once I had
5
the
minutes?
funds, it took me 5 minutes. Yes. Once I had the funds, it didn't take me very long. The few presents I did bring to Christmas put me in quite the hole there, buddy.
What? Why was I the one you chose not to buy something for? We have a sister. Screw her over.
She got
Anyway.
she got a Switch though from both of us.
Which means you spent more on her.
Yeah, that broke me.
Fair. That's fair. So I've been giving him a hard time in jest, but I did finally get it. Although I had to blackmail him.
Well,
to get it.
we're gonna be bike buddies now because I have that same mount.
Sweet.
We're
Let's
gonna
do it.
We're gonna be bike buddies.
Let's be bike buddies.
We're gonna
And
be
we can
bike
ride
buddies.
around Shadowbringers places since you haven't gotten into Endwalker yet.
Hey, I'm in the first zone. I can't fly, but I can drive around.
I can fly in all the zones now except for the last one.
Someone's got to keep an eye on the land.
I can keep an eye from the sky.
You can't see everything.
I can see everything.
Speaking of Kingdom Hearts 3 and payoffs, our next
Wow.
topic.
What a weird transition. I guess it
Final
works.
Fantasy VII cross Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is coming to the cloud, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that was. I was thinking about trying to make some kind of Final Fantasy VII joke, and I just couldn't get there. Yeah, so this apparently was announced at the Nintendo Direct. Is that what you said?
This
And
was
I-
announced when Sora came out at the Sakurai
Okay.
Presents. Yes.
Gotcha. Now we didn't have a release date back then, though, did we?
No.
Okay. Well, what we're talking about, for those of you who don't know, is Kingdom Hearts, which we've said before, we do cover Kingdom Hearts on here a little bit because it's very Final Fantasy related.
It is. It is a cousin of Final Fantasy, like Chrono Trigger.
Oh, we should get to that game. I've never finished Chrono Trigger.
Me neither. That'd be fun. Let's do that.
Okay. So anyway, Kingdom Hearts is finally coming to the Switch. So, they did announce this before, but they finally tweeted out earlier today, I believe, that it is going to be coming to Switch on February 10th. So that's not too far away. But
Hold your applause.
There is one catch to this. So it's going to be Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5, 2.8, 3 plus Remind DLC. God, Kingdom Hearts has the worst naming convention. As well as the all-in-one Integram Masterpiece. They launch on Nintendo Switch February 10th via the cloud.
Is that all one package, or are they separate?
Well, okay. I think you can do them separate. I think that's what it's saying. 1.5 plus 2.5, then 2.8, then 3 plus Remind, as well as the all-in-one, and they're calling that Integram Masterpiece.
Okay.
So, did you follow that?
No,
now,
but I get you.
I think you can buy them separate, you can get them separate or in one. Now 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, 3. That's everything, right? Like there's nothing left out of that.
That's the trilogy, yeah.
So I mean, even the games that didn't get remade have the cutscenes. Like I don't think there's a game that's not included in this.
Nope. I don't think maybe the music game, which is already on Switch. So I don't know.
Okay. Well, yeah, because that came out after. So
yeah.
So there you go.
I don't know.
Now the thing being though, it's going to be only the cloud version, meaning that it's basically like a streaming version, something along the lines of PlayStation Now, or is Game Pass? That's how that works, right?
No, you can download most of them. There's a few you have to stream, but I think you can stream them or you can download them.
Okay,
that's
how
reason
PlayStation
Game
Now is
Pass is awesome.
Well, yeah, that's how PlayStation Now is. They got some download, but it's mainly everything on there can be streamed, basically, right?
Yeah.
So, man, there have been... Actually, I'm looking on Twitter right now. It's still trending. Kingdom Hearts is trending. There are some mad people.
See, and that confuses
really mad
me.
People.
That confuses me. Why are they mad again? We went through this a few months ago. Like, everyone's mad all over again.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to change. I know it. I don't know. Cloud gaming's not a bad thing, but I don't think it makes sense at all on Switch. Because it takes away from the entire purpose of the Switch. Because you can't go places with it because you have to stream it. So what are you gonna do in the car? Like that's one of the big selling points. Like
that is a great point.
Yeah.
Also, I would also like to point out that online connectivity on my Switch is not always the best.
No, it's rarely the best actually.
So you're also relying on that to stream a game. I think it's fair that people have some concerns over this. And I don't understand necessarily the idea behind it. I don't know if it was...
See, if it's too hard to port this to Switch, so the cloud version is obviously easier because it takes off the hardware limitations.
Sure.
I have a hard time... I can kind of get that with Kingdom Hearts 3, maybe. But Doom Eternal... Doom Eternal runs on Switch. And it looks way better than Kingdom Hearts 3. And
I mean, Kingdom Hearts was a PlayStation 2 game.
Well, Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3.
I know. No. What I'm saying is I agree
with
you. Oh, yeah. No,
exactly.
Like 1 and 2.
But see, that's my thing. Like, if Doom Eternal can run as a cartridge on a Switch, just a downscaled version, and run fine, why the heck can't Kingdom Hearts 3? And Kingdom Hearts, all of the other ones... You are lying to me. You are an apologist for bad ideas if you think that is because of limitations. First of all, no. They're PS2 games. Downscale them. Use the PS3 versions of the HD remakes.
Oh my god, I forgot there were PS3 versions.
Yeah, if you need to do that,
I forgot that.
Use the PS3 versions instead of the new PS4 versions.
There is no way a Switch couldn't run some of those PS3 versions. There's just no way.
A Switch, there's no way. Breath of the Wild is a gorgeous game. Gorgeous. Animal Crossing is a gorgeous game. Mario Kart 8 is a gorgeous game. Looks better than the Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 remixes.
Yeah, plus, but I mean, one of the things that Kingdom Hearts kind of gets dinged on, and rightfully so, in the first two especially, is their worlds are kind of empty. Like,
Yeah.
three fixed it a little bit with some NPCs, but especially in Kingdom Hearts 1, it's just a bunch of empty worlds where Heartless spawn.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
there's-
It's not aged the best in that regard. But
But what I'm saying is, I am a little confused why they couldn't have put these on a cartridge or the eShop. Like, why is it just the cloud version?
yeah,
So,
it was easy. It's probably cheaper.
I'm sure it was cheaper.
Yeah, so there's
I'm
your
sure.
answer, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
think
I mean, it's
there's-
not like we don't have a history of questionable decisions coming out of Square with these releases. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I'm
right.
enjoying them on my phone, but the Pixel remasters
Would have
perfect
been
for Switch.
would have been
that wasn't
yeah,
done.
awesome.
Stuff like that.
It's weird. I
Mm.
don't understand a lot of what's going on. There's really nothing to say other than why is it not on why is it not a cartridge? I might have actually been convinced to rebuy all of those games if it meant that I could take my Switch to work and play Kingdom Hearts on downtime.
That would have been, yeah.
That would have been
'cause one of
awesome.
my favorite things doing when Kingdom Hearts came out on the PS4 was I used to stream it to my Vita, and it was awesome just to have it in bed playing Kingdom Hearts and stuff like that. And of course, the Switch has a bigger screen and all that, so that would have been awesome. Don't know if I would have rebought the whole series, but still, I get what you're saying though. It seems to miss the point of the Switch.
I mean, absolutely. I love my Switch. I play it mostly docked, in fact. But the reason I love my Switch is because if I come to somebody's house, I don't have to bring a whole console. It's right here. My dock and everything. I literally have to do this. Good to go.
Well, I mean,
Time to go.
that's literally the selling point. It's the name. Like, that's the name of the console. Is
So,
that it does that.
This isn't like Resident Evil 7 got, not in America, but got a cloud version on the Switch.
Okay.
And it's still Witcher 3 is on the Switch.
I
It is not
know.
a cloud version. Granted,
know.
I have heard it runs really bad,
Does
but
it?
it's functional, I'm sure. Like,
Yeah.
it's
I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I get people being annoyed because I can see I can see that because half the appeal is being able to take this someplace, and that just tethers you to your home.
exactly.
So,
And
just don't get
I mean, I'm full support. You know what? Maybe don't be a baby on Twitter because there's too much of that. Try to make your Twitter a little more, if you're gonna be mad about something, I don't know, go to Reddit or something. People complain there a lot.
that actually brings me into another thing that I want to talk about in a minute. But
Oh
go ahead.
yeah, I don't know. Just complaining on Twitter is not gonna do a thing. I mean, if you're complaining at the Kingdom Hearts people on Twitter, you're just screaming at some intern.
Well,
Like,
that's true. Here's the thing, though. There is a difference between just ranting and complaining and valuable feedback. I mean, I do think that it's valuable feedback to say, okay, cloud gaming is nice and it is convenient, but it does have its limitations, and those limitations don't necessarily align with the Switch's vision, I don't think.
no, I mean the Switch, if it had some kind of like data support, like the Vita did, I think,
Okay.
it would make more sense to me, but still be dumb. At least then it would just be dumb. But now it's just like, why?
What I'm saying is, you can express those views in constructive ways, but just ranting, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen on Twitter, doesn't help anybody, and that just gets you ignored.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a weird thing because a lot of the time you vote with your wallet, but if nobody buys this, then they'll never put it on a card. Like, it's one of those weird. It's kind of like the Pixel remasters. The way to get them on consoles is to buy them on my phone.
But then what's the point of buying them again?
I know, but if I
corrupt-
don't buy them, they're like, well, nobody's really buying these. Why would we waste more development effort? It's just such a weird little cycle
what
that they
a
get into,
weird world we live in.
I know. But I do want to just transition briefly because it seems to fit here. Yoshi P actually has had a very recent interview where he has said pretty much exactly what I just said. Now, have you seen this where he was on?
No,
on
I've
that
not been on.
podcast and that
I've
podcast?
only been on Twitter lately to blurt out the random thoughts I have, and then I instantly get off.
Well, this wasn't so much. I mean, it's been going on, talked about on Twitter, but this was actually he was a guest on the Radio Mog station on January 9th. So he basically came on, and this is just a podcast, for Final Fantasy 14, and he was addressing this kind of stuff in relation to Final Fantasy 14 and how, some of the devs get harassed online. And he basically, and I'll put the link to it, to the article that I have here in the show notes if you want to read the full thing. But he basically says what I just said. It's these are real people. These are real people that you're talking to that worked hard on this, and they're not making changes. They're not doing things in their development cycle just to make you mad.
Yeah.
And he says, he asks, just think before you say something to these people. Imagine that you're talking face to face with somebody that worked for, in the case of Final Fantasy 14, 10 plus years bringing Endwalker to a close, before people because I think everybody knows this, but the internet and the anonymity that it brings out the worst in a lot of people.
That's the way of the internet.
It really does.
You get more clout and recognition when you're negative. Because no one cares about positivity on the internet at all.
That's why I'm not famous.
Yeah,
That's why I'm not famous.
Nobody cares about positivity at all. Like Final February will be a flop if I like Final Fantasy VIII. Like that's just how it is. So I might act like I hate it anyway. I mean that's just how that's the internet, and people play into that because everyone wants to be famous. And
don't do that to me.
People may not even necessarily be mad about whatever the heck they're screaming at these people for. But they're like, oh, look, I'll get likes, and a lot of people will reply to me.
But to Yoshi's point, as he goes on, he goes, these people do take that to heart, and the more they see, they may not want to make games anymore. You might be the straw that breaks the camel's back that makes them just say, this isn't worth it. I'm not happy doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's not as easy for some people to just turn off some of that criticism, and it's not criticism. Because, I mean, I think valuable constructive criticism, I think most normal people can handle that.
Yeah.
But it's just
Twitter,
the visceral rage that you see coming out of stuff.
I completely agree with Yoshi P on that, but I'll be honest, and maybe I'm wrong for thinking this, but it kind of scares me how vulnerable he can be sometimes. Like, when he came on, when he came on and he announced that Endwalker got delayed, he cried. I felt his emotion, but it felt like... And then he comes on and he's basically saying, stop bullying us. That's what he's saying. And I agree with him, but it scares me because that is just going to multiply it tenfold, because that's giving fuel to the fire. That's classic. That's classic middle school bullying 101. And Yoshi P scares me because he's so passionate about the things he do, but he's so vulnerable about it. Like, I saw... I'm not obviously not going to name names, but podcasts I listened to, one of the three people kind of made fun of Yoshi P that he cried over Endwalker's delay. And it's like, I agree. I mean, I fully love the fact that he's so passionate about the game and makes it so much enjoyable. That's the internet, man. When you get vulnerable like that, not everyone's going to think you're the savior. And I'm not saying Yoshi P toughen up, get tougher skin. I'm not saying that. Because he is who he is, that's fine. It just scares me, man. You know what I mean? And this stuff,
I do have a question.
I don't think that going on an interview and telling people to essentially stop bullying us was the right call, because it's gonna get worse now.
Well, yeah, I do think though. That's true. God, that's so sad.
It's so sad.
So sad.
There's no lie to what I'm saying. Now listen, before you send us hate mail. You're
totally right.
I'm on the side. Yeah, there's no rebuttal. I think he did something bad doing that. I think he got a little reactive and just said what was on his mind, what he was feeling. I do it too. Listen, I got people who come in my stream sometimes and tell me I'm like, they joke around and say get good, and I get legitimately mad. And I don't even think before I start saying, well, dude, I'd like to see you. You know what I mean? It's the same thing, but it gets worse.
Human nature.
It gets worse, and it scares me that Yoshi P is so emotional about this stuff. But it also makes me love him because he's so relatable.
He wasn't necessarily coming at this from, don't say this stuff to me. He was protecting his team, basically. He was saying, these developers don't deserve that. I think he even says, hold on.
That scares me for him too, though, because he's going to feel responsible when he feels like he's directed the hate towards them even more. You know what I mean?
You know what? It's sad because the people that need to hear this probably aren't listening. I mean,
No.
because if you're one of the people, and I'm sorry if actually I'm not. If you're one of the people that does this, and you get mad at me. That's okay. If you're one of the people that go out of your way to send like hate mail to devs because of balance changes to a class in Final Fantasy 14,
Who cares? You can't even see the DPS meters. Get over it.
come on, people.
You don't
That's
even
a little too far.
like. If you notice that you're doing worse in that game, you're sweating too hard. Like, there's no DPS meters. Just get over it. I don't care if Reaper gets nerfed. Whatever. I can't. I don't know.
Just stay alive. That's all you got to do. Like that is
I don't care.
the thing.
I'm kidding. By the way, it's all jokes.
I'm
Well, that
not.
part was jokes. I agree. I mean, the internet sucks, and I love Yoshi P for how vulnerable and emotional and attached he is to his community and his game, but I also think it's probably his biggest flaw, because a lot of people like to act like the Final Fantasy XIV community is all sunshine and roses and this safe haven from the WoW community that's so happy. That is obviously not true. Like, that's what I've been saying this whole time. It's MMO players. They're just...
I think it's gamers.
It's
dude.
gamers. Yes.
Because we're coming, tying this back into Kingdom Hearts. It's just gamers.
We suck. Like, go
we just
play.
hate everything.
The most wholesome community I've ever seen. I'd never see anyone say anything bad about Kirby. No one
Kirby?
talks bad about Kirby.
Kirby is it the safe haven?
It is.
Of internet culture.
We're gonna start.
You know what?
Kirby
I don't
podcast.
have a bad thing to say about Kirby.
Nope, it is a great game.
I was playing Kirby earlier today, actually.
It is. Every Kirby game is just what it is. It is so cute and peaceful.
It doesn't try to be anything else.
And that's the thing, is like, no matter what, as soon as I played, like, I mean, I'm a Sonic fan. I'm immune to internet hate. I don't care. I mean, I love things people hate. So I don't really,
Sure.
I don't care. But seriously, stop being jerks online, guys. Like, obviously they're human. Like, they may create this big giant project, but dude, come on. They see what you're typing.
And here's the thing. Neither one of us are saying that you should just praise everything all the time. Everything's great. If you have actual feedback, that is totally different.
Have you ever?
There is a way to put that feedback forward.
If they've
that
ever
is
watched this,
constructive and respectful.
If they've ever watched this show, they know I'm not saying be positive. I feel like
That's
I
true.
say more
You're
negative.
quite a pessimist.
I feel like I say more negative things about Final Fantasy than positive sometimes, but I'm
I
just
feel
being
like you
critical.
do.
I'm just trying to be interesting, I guess. I don't know, edgy. Maybe
guess.
I will like Squall. Anyway, but I don't go on Twitter and be like, good lord, the Final Fantasy devs are idiots. Why in the world is the draw system still in Final Fantasy? Why haven't you patched that out? Like, I don't do that. Like, who gives a crap?
Speaking of that, I did see people on a Reddit complaining about the fact that with the Pixel remaster, they didn't redesign the leveling system for Final Fantasy 2. And it's like, that's literally not the point of this game.
Take one look. I think the Pixel remasters are beautiful, but take one look at that and tell me if there was enough effort put in to redesign an entire leveling system. No.
Well, why would they?
Exactly.
First of all, love it or hate it, it makes Final Fantasy 2 unique. It is the only game like it in the series.
What they want is a remake, and I think Final Fantasy 2 could actually benefit from a remake.
It could. I mean, it's got a decent. I've actually been kind of interested in the story. It's got a decent story, and you were right with the exception of that boss music. Man,
it's great.
That soundtrack is awesome. I love it.
It's so good. It is so good.
That's good.
But
anyway, let's get this back on track just a little bit, back to Kingdom Hearts, because those were the two kind of big topics I wanted to talk about anyway.
Yeah.
But coming back around to Kingdom Hearts, I do think it's good that it's coming to Switch, and I don't think that you would disagree with that. But as it stands, I don't really see any benefit. If you have another system, I don't see why you would get it on Switch.
To me, it's kind of like, okay, it's kind of like waking up for school, right? And you say, there's no school today. And you're like, yes, it snowed. There's no school. But it's an NTI day, and you have to do online classes. It's like, it's so close to being what you want. But it's still like, still don't have it.
Here's what I'll say.
Because you're like, it's on my Switch. Yeah, I've got Kingdom Hearts on my Switch, but I'm in my car. I can't play it.
I see this being a very similar situation to what I had when I was trying to replay Final Fantasy 13. Because when PlayStation Now first came out, Final Fantasy 13 was on there, and I had decent internet, decent enough to where they said, yeah, you're fine to stream games. The problem being that if your internet drops, it tries to keep you connected, but if it can't, you get booted out of the game. And with games like Final Fantasy 13, Kingdom Hearts, that rely on save points, you could lose big chunks of your time.
Yeah, it's obnoxious.
Because they don't implement any kind of auto or quick save feature. They just stream the game that exists.
Mhm.
Unless for some reason they've changed it for the cloud version. But for Final Fantasy 13, I lost an hour of play. And I actually was like, I can't play it like this anymore. And it didn't have a download version. So that's another concern too, is if your internet is spotty and you drop out right after beating that boss you've been working on, guess what? You're going to have to refight that boss.
Yeah,
so,
It's barnacles, man. I don't know. I'm not telling you not to buy it, but if you play your Switch primarily at home and have good internet, go for it. You can play Kingdom Hearts now. But if you're like me, I mean, if I'm going to play a game, like I played Nintendo games on this, but if I'm going to buy a game that's multi-console, I'm going to get it on PS4.
Yeah. In this game in particular, I would get on something else. I mean, I would get it on PS4 or Xbox if you have that option, or PC or something. Just because I think that a game, especially a game with save points, benefits from not relying on the internet.
Yeah.
That's just what I think. And if they implement just a save anywhere feature, that's a big help. Or an autosave that saves, when you transition zones, big help. But as it stands, it's the Final Fantasy 13 problem. And I couldn't stand losing an hour or two of gameplay just because for some reason my power blinked. And boom, there you go back. And I mean, that's, I mean, the power blinking could hurt you even if it was, well, actually not for the Switch, because it's just got a battery mode.
Exactly.
So that's kind of nice.
Ugh.
But we don't have that because it will take out your internet. So
Cloud. I don't know. It's
Here's
confusing. Just do it.
I do think that cloud gaming is interesting, and I think it's a really good idea. And I do think that as time goes on, that it's going to become more and more prevalent. I just don't know if we're necessarily there yet. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you've got really fast internet, you probably don't even notice. But
I don't think cloud gaming should ever be the only thing, though. Like, I feel like Game Pass does it perfectly, where they offer cloud gaming and they also offer you the ability to download it. I think that needs to be that needs to be the meta going forth for gaming, because I mean, I live in an area where most of the people I interact with either don't have internet or have some of the most laughable, like 1980s dial-up crap you've ever seen. So it's like, what are they supposed to do? Just quit playing games? Like,
well, and that's why I was saying, I just don't think we're there yet, because accessible high-speed broadband isn't, I mean, it's, people in cities are like, what are you talking about? But it's really not available everywhere.
No, not at all.
It's just not easily accessible. And a lot of places where it is, there's only one provider, so they charge whatever they want. I mean, even me, I live right outside a major metropolitan area, yet I live just beyond where like the city's high-speed internet service provider services. So I have one provider that'll give me above 100 megabits.
Yeah.
So of course it's more expensive, just because they're like, we don't have competition, pay us this.
I pay $70 a month for internet, which may not be bad to some people. Yeah, like I had to get like I need good internet, and it's like the only decent internet. It's only like 150.
Well, wow, really?
Yeah.
So think about this though. I mean, we got 500, and remember when we tried to play Streets of Rage? Even that was laggy. We had to download it.
Yeah, I mean,
so
cloud gaming is far from ready, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just got. I think a couple years it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be awesome. I really do. And the streaming services, there's rumors around now that PlayStation Now is about to have a big upgrade, possibly blending into one subscription with PlayStation Plus to kind of try to rival Xbox Game Pass. That will be good.
They need
competition just makes things better.
They need it. I mean, absolutely. Game Pass is awesome.
They need it, and it'll make Game Pass better too, because competition breeds, innovation.
That or Microsoft we'll wake up tomorrow, Microsoft will have bought Sony. and we won't be talking about this anymore.
I don't think that would be approved.
They're gonna.
That's like
I saw.
creepy Monopoly levels
I
of
saw.
stuff.
I saw a picture earlier. It said, "Buy Xbox Game Pass now included with EA Play, Disney Plus, Hulu, Netflix, PlayStation Net, everything in the world." And I was like, "Goodness gracious!"
That's funny. Yeah.
It's just gonna be.
For those of you who don't know, Microsoft bought Activision today, so
There's gonna be one subscription service in a few years. It's gonna be Game Pass. You're gonna get everything in the world from it.
from Game Pass, yeah. Let's hope it doesn't go that route, because then it'll be super expensive.
Oh yeah,
Competition's good. Competition's good, and I think if Sony does that, it'll just help everything. And I think that cloud gaming, I think it's here to stay, and I think it's going to get better and better. I just don't. I think it's too soon to be offering cloud-only games. That's just my opinion.
Big agree.
And that's kind of what they're doing with the Kingdom Hearts version on the Switch. And I just think it might be a miss. Now, I'm sure it'll sell. I'm sure lots of people will buy it, have no problems with it, and love it. I'm sure a lot of people will buy it and won't be able to play it. So, I mean, that's just how it is. So, we'll see. I mean, if you're out there, I don't know you can't do this right now, but after February 10th, if you do get the cloud version of Kingdom Hearts, let us know what you think. You can email us at highwindherald@gmail.com or leave us a message on Twitter. We'd just like to know.
Join our Discord.
Or join our Discord. Yeah, it's in the show notes. Wait, are we wrapping up? Because it kind of sounds like we transitioned into that.
I don't know. We've been here for an hour.
That's true. We have been here for an hour.
Well, not showtime, but
I've been here for an hour.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's it. That's all that matters.
But, well, no, I mean, that was my main thing I wanted to talk about was Kingdom Hearts and cloud gaming in general. And, I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple of years they're doing something with Final Fantasy that's cloud-based only, but especially in the mobile space.
Cloud-based
mobile space.
Cloud-based only mobile NFT purchaser.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. I still don't understand NFTs.
We need to get a guest on.
We really do. Like, I still just don't get them. Like, I get the gist, but there's just something about it that I'm just not understanding. Yeah. I mean, I've done some research, and I get the gist why they're bad. But
they don't make any sense.
I don't. Yeah, what's the perceived benefit is what, because all I'm finding is like the environmental impacts and stuff. I don't understand what the perceived benefits is.
Clout.
Now we're getting off topic again. We will talk about that, but I've got to find us someone who knows what they're talking about.
Yes,
and
please.
Explain it to us dum-dums.
Pretty please.
So anyway, dude, I have nothing else to say. That's really what I wanted to talk about.
I'm all done, man. So. I'm all done.
Well, fine then. Let's get out of here because, as you know, it's Tuesday night and I've got some Superman and Lois to watch.
It's Tuesday night and I have nothing to do.
Oh, that's sad.
This was my thing to do.
I'm sad for you.
And it's over.
You could watch anime.
Probably will. I don't know. I'm finished everything I was currently watching. I don't have anything to watch for now.
New one.
Oh, maybe.
You could go to bed early.
No, heck no. All right. Find me at Soloist on anything. Soloist TV, Soloist. I'm on Reddit now.
Cool.
I got a Reddit.
Which is funny because all we do is crap talk Reddit on here.
I'm on Reddit.
Cool.
Soloist TV on Reddit. Soloist on Soloist TV usually everywhere. You'll find me. Yeah.
All right. Well, you can follow me at Wolfkins, or you can follow the show at Highwind Herald, or you can go to highwindherald.com. We have all of our past episodes and show notes. And yeah, you can email us at highwindherald@gmail.com, and we do have a Discord like we just said earlier. And don't forget, you can find the VOD of our live stream for this episode on our YouTube channel.
When are you wanting to upload that, by the way?
We'll figure it out, and I'll make a tweet about it. And then when we get the schedule going, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
But, so there you go. But then next week we should be live streaming on YouTube. This week it was just Twitch, but we'll be back. So
we'll be back.
And then keep your eyes posted to that YouTube because we do plan to do a little bit more streaming, especially. Your final February, you could probably dual stream to both if you wanted to.
I didn't even think about that.
You should.
I'll for sure do our 14 dungeon nights that way.
Yeah, let's do it.
But I don't know. My solo stream personality doesn't fit my podcast personality.
You got different personalities?
Yes,
You got, like, split personalities?
I've got like a potty mouth on my Twitch stream, so I don't
That's true.
really say nasty stuff like poop and fart over here. So I don't.
I'm gonna have to edit that out of the podcast.
See, you can't silence me when I'm streaming by myself. That's why I think I'll keep it on my Twitch. So just
That's
follow
fair.
me on Twitch. I'm sorry, I can't be contained.
We do try to keep the Highwind Herald a little more family friendly.
A little bit.
Slipped up and said a bad word last week, but I caught it and edited it out.
Did you edit it out or edit in a beep?
No, I almost added in a beat, but it was so easy to just take out.
Oh, you should have added a beep. It's so much funnier. Beep.
Yeah,
No, you should have added the chocobo sound. No, the Moogle
that
sound.
would've
The
been fun.
Moogle sound.
You know what? We should just start cursing and then just use that.
Are you confident in your ability to do that?
No,
Okay.
not yet. I'd have to find the clip first. Why are you just getting ready to start cursing?
Yeah. I'll save it for when you figure it out.
Gotcha. Okay. Anyway, man, any final thoughts?
Nope, no Final Fantasies today. What about you?
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting we're calling it that. No, I'm good, man. I think that I've said what I wanted to talk about this week. So,
Good deal.
all right. Well, if you tuned into the live stream, thanks for watching. It was nice to have you here. If not, you can catch this episode on Fridays, like we always upload our episodes, and then it'll be on YouTube. I'll let you know on Twitter, and then once we get the schedule, we'll figure it out. But anyway, man, it's good talking to you.
You too.
See you next week.
Bye-bye, everybody.